I'm Stephanie Woods, and I'm here with Jeanetta Bodie. We're the co-founders of Soma Moon Wellness, a space we created behind the old ways of doing wellness, leadership, and business. We created Soma Moon Wellness to have a place for women to come together, to gather and have support that we have all needed, as well as connection. There's a time and place where you look back when there was the tribal mentality of women, and they would learn from each other and share their stories. And I feel that we've come quite disconnected with that within our relationships with women and in our community. So part of the passion of Soma Moon Wellness is to bring that back and learn from each other, no matter your age, your space, your location. We are here to partner together. Each week, we'll talk about the body, leadership, and work without losing ourselves along the way. If you've ever felt successful on the outside, but disconnected on the inside, you're in the right place. We welcome you to Soma Moon Wellness.
So welcome here. We are creating a space where women can have better conversations and where we can come learn about being a woman, learn how our body is different, how we take care of ourselves, because we're different. We need different things. I don't like to wear the same clothes every day of the week. I don't like to do the same workout every day because my body needs variety. It needs a rhythm. It needs change. And so what we have done with Soma Moon is we've recognized that all women are different. Your hormones are not the same every day. We want to create a space where you can come ask questions without feeling stupid. You can come find resources and you can meet other people and be in community with women. Because it's exactly what you said, Steph. There's this weird disconnect that happens. We live in a performance-based world where my identity is so tied to my ability to perform. And this is why we started out our podcast series where we're introducing who we are and how our partnership is different, because we believe that what you contribute and give to the world starts from understanding that you belong in this world and not the other way around.
Another thing that we like to do with Soma Moon is show up authentically as who you are and how you're feeling that day. I think that's taken a lot of pressure off of me in my life because you try to hide it. How are you doing? I'm fine. But how are you actually doing is a question that we don't necessarily answer truthfully. And there's a difference within the energy of your body if you're being authentic to yourself and sharing how you feel versus when you shut it down and push it away. So I hope others can find that as well, where they can take that liberty to express what's going on with them. And it's not always
rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah. We live our lives and things can become challenging. And maybe if we shared more, then we might be able to get more support. I teach yoga at a retirement community, and I really love all the energy and the women that I talk to after class. There's just so much insight into the world, and that's something I feel very blessed with, that we can learn from each other.
What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what we do at Soma Moon. We've talked a lot about who we are, and that's intentional. I don't want you to work with me until you actually know who I am, because what a lot of times happens is you get into a coaching relationship with somebody and you're like, oh, I thought this is what I was getting or who I was going to be working with, but it's actually not. And now I'm in this relationship and I want to get out and I don't know how to do it without having conflict. And so our intention here has been to be authentic, just like Steph said, is this is who we are. Who you see on this podcast is who we are when we're being silly and working with each other, or when we showed up on Monday to try to record this and both of us were on our period and we're like, yeah, not happening today. So we postponed it. And we do that all the time. If we come together and there's an emotional problem or a physical need or life is just not working the way we thought it is, we make room and space for that. So if you are a wellness provider, what I hope you see with me and Steph is that we make it a point to live in integrity where our work matches what we're learning in real life. And everything we do is under the umbrella of yoga. So Soma Moon exists under the values of yoga. And this is important that you recognize that yoga is not cute outfits on a yoga mat. Like that is 1/8 of yoga, which is the movements. But we have really opened up yoga into the other 7 limbs, which if you're interested in learning more about them, we have our living yoga course that talks about the foundations of the practice of yoga. It's important also that you know that yoga is not a religion. It's not a spirituality practice. It does believe that you have a spirituality practice, but it doesn't assume what it is. And so what we have done is we've taken the idea of self-study and meditation, somatics, feeling my body, body awareness, body scanning, and we've taken them and applied them specifically into 3 separate pillars. I want you to think about these pillars as doorways into Soma Moon. The reason why we did this is because just like I started out the podcast that I am not the same every day and I don't want to wear the same thing every day, my needs are not the same every day. I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm a hot mess some days, and so I need different things. What we try to do is hold that container open. We want to make sure that our doorways are like revolving doors. They're always open. You're always welcome in that door. And when you need to leave or you need to go into your world, it's not closed if you leave, but it's available if you need it. So we're going to go through each of the 3 pillars and why they're designed the way that they are, and hopefully give you an idea of what we do. And I should probably say that it's taken us a year, a flippin' year, to actually nail this down in words and make it make sense.
Lots of conversations and lots of giggles. But just to highlight what the 3 doors are that we're going to talk through to give you some awareness is whole self. So that's the individual work that you're doing. Leadership, which could be from a business standpoint or even just leadership as you are in the world. And then there's the business side. So what you are projecting out into the world through your business.
Yeah, so let's go into the first one, the whole self. The whole self is education. It really boils down to understanding the ability to practice awareness, learn a new skill, and then apply it into your personal life. So an example would be our Empower Your Core Foundations of Pelvic Floor. This is not just a workout, but it's understanding what is nervous system and why is the nervous system so important when we're talking about pelvic floor, or understanding why do I feel so much emotional shame when I think about taking my clothes off in front of my spouse. Why is there pain when I have sex? And so it's taking very common and often embarrassing sometimes topics and bringing them into the light and looking at them through the lens of yoga, through the lens of, can I understand my nervous system in my body? What does that feel like within my emotions? And what is the energy and how is it interacting with other people? How am I applying it within my work or my parent relationship or my partner relationship?
So another part of the whole self, personally, I've noticed the most growth for me is learning to read my body in the way of my feelings and how I'm showing up in the world. I'll give an example. So I always have stomach issues or stress that I know I hold in my stomach, and it's caused a lot of physical pain in the manner of constipation or stress and anxiety. What I have now learned is to listen more to what is happening when those symptoms arise, which allows me to then start to think through the feelings, because your body knows first before it actually comes to your mind. If you can take a moment to sit with it and try to evaluate what might be triggering it, is the way that I've been able to have that awareness within my own body. So a lot of this kind of practice is brought up during the Empower Your Core course as well as the living yoga. And it just gives you some foundational information and curiosity with yourself and in your body of starting to read the nonverbal things that happen within our bodies each day.
Yeah. I think for me, the desire to create these programs was how many women I have been working with in the yoga studio or in a gym setting. And there is this dissection of the self. I'm in the gym and my body is over here and we're going to work it really hard and we're going to ignore all the things and we're just going to do the work. And then I come home and I'm having a hard time getting out of bed and I'm depressed. And every time I have a hard conversation, I've got anxiety. I don't know how to function at work. then I should go to therapy, or maybe I go to the doctor and get some help in managing my hormones, which all of those things are good and all of those things are needed. But what I see is they're in separate boxes and we don't know how to bring them together. And so the work that we do is recognizing that you are a whole being. You have a whole self. And what is required to bring those things together, and this is where the word yoga means union, is the ability to sit and know that nothing is happening to me. If I'm sitting in this spot right now, nothing is happening to me. It's okay for me to sit and listen to my body. It's okay for me to say no, to set boundaries, and all those things that we have either conditioned ourselves over the years to be like, oh, I'm just going to ignore that. Don't have time for that. That's a problem. These things build up into our body and create autoimmune disorders. They create anxiety or emotional or mental health issues. And they're not separate. They're all connected. And that's what our whole self programs are designed to teach.
So we welcome you to join and take a look. If you're curious, check it out on our website. There is a page dedicated to whole self, and we have a lot more courses coming your way in this new year.
We've also had the Movement Hub in there, which is our free yoga classes. We're going to be adding some online group coaching to each of the courses, so you'll be able to work with the creator of the course. If you are a wellness provider and you're interested and you think that you have a course that would fit in our whole self program, please reach out to us. Our intent is not to just be an echo chamber of the current staff of Soma Moon. Our intent is to create an invitation because we don't know it all and we can't teach it all. And so there is an invitation for you to come and add your course and your wisdom because, as Stephanie said in the beginning, women are better together. We are meant to be together and we want to take down some of those walls. Ready for number 2? Doorway number 2. Doorway number 2 is our leadership pillar. And this is, again, very intentional because after 10 years of teaching and running teacher trainings, what I have found most often, especially with women, is when a woman has experienced some type of transformation, breakthrough, learning moment, like these aha moments, she wants to give back. She wants to contribute back. And that is why we created our leadership programs, because the whole self is foundational. These are things that are going to make your marriage better, are going to make your parenting better, are going to make you feel better in your own body. And then there's this desire to contribute, to lead others, because you have a unique gift that the world needs. The whole self is designed for you to understand it and to find your voice. The leadership pillar is a place where you develop that voice and you get to practice doing hard things, leading and giving something back into the world. We use yoga. One of the reasons why I went and got my Yoga 200 teacher training originally was because I wanted an opportunity to learn how to teach something in front of people. I wanted to practice public speaking. I'm setting aside a year to do this program, which I hadn't done before. I feel like I was constantly floating from this thing to this thing and to this thing. And so there's a discipline practice of I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something scary, like getting up in front of people and trying to sequence a bunch of yoga poses together or try to guide people in meditations, which is really scary and intimidating. And you have all of this identity and worth and imposter syndrome that comes up. And I think that the Yoga 200 teacher training, regardless if you think you are going to teach yoga or not, it does not matter. The skills that you learn from a Yoga 200 hour teacher training are leadership development, public speaking, course management, people management, emotional regulation, how to deal with conflict with other people. It is so broad. So the first one would be our 200-hour teacher training.
I think it's interesting that I too, when I went through my 200-hour teacher training, wasn't going in with the intent to teach. I was terrified to be able to speak in front and lead people. And that was what I wanted out of it. And as I started to do it, I found my voice. And I also liked the challenge of coming in and teaching a class because I loved yoga myself. That's usually where most people start, is the love for the yoga. And then you find out it blossoms into all this other new information that you learn. But then the awkwardness of learning and teaching and the leadership is a transformation that can happen to anyone. It's worth the discomfort to get
Yeah,
to it.
it is. It is.
We all grow in discomfort. So having the opportunity to do this and learn in a safe environment with others that are just as awkward and just afraid. I remember at the end of the first class, the 3-hour class, I just started crying. I was like, what did I do? Why am I here? And then I'm like, I'm strong. I got this. I can do this. And I came back and I was ready to rally and I was able to do it. And I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it's so funny. Typically, when we do it in person, it's over 5 weekends. And weekend one, everybody's super excited. They're still like giddy. And the weekend two, you start to be like, oh shit, like there's a lot of work I got to do with this. And then weekend three, it's like the tears start coming, like the tears, and there's conflict. And as the teacher of it, you just prepare for it because this is when you're like the make and break moment. This is where if you leave at this point, it is a clear indicator that this is a habit that you have in your life. When things get hard, I'm out. And this is an opportunity to be in vulnerability in something really hard and to also recognize you look around the room and you're like, oh, it's not just me. I'm not just having a hard time. Everyone is having a hard time. And when you choose to stay in it anyway, you start giving your brain data points. Nervous system like locks in, oh, I can do hard things. And that I think is the most important part of a yoga 200-hour teacher training. We are going to launch our 200-hour teacher training in the fall. A couple of things I want to say here is that as a yoga studio owner, a 200-hour teacher training is one of the most beneficial and profitable things that you can do for your yoga studio. And it's a pain in the ass to create. So one of the things that we are doing, if you are a yoga studio owner, know that we are going to work on a mentorship for studio owners so that you can use our school and we will work with you to get a yoga teacher training to help you get some extra revenue in your studio while doing a mentorship with us and using our programs. So that'll be in the fall. Stay tuned for that. I will also say that our 200 has a lot of biomechanics, nervous system, chronic pain. It is untraditional from what I have seen. So if you have completed your 200 already, there are going to be different options for you to join. There's an anatomy section that you could pull from. We're also looking to do our 300 yoga teacher training, which will probably be coming out in 2027. We're going to give ourselves lots of time because we want to do it right.
So stay tuned and definitely take a look at our website. We'll have all this information available to you.
Yeah. And then the final thing I'll add in the leadership section, and I guess this would apply to whole self and leadership, is we offer integrative coaching for both. I'm a yoga therapist, and so a lot of my work in the whole self one-on-one is the foundations. I don't understand this. I read this, I heard this, I watched the program, and I don't understand it. And you just need some help integrating it into your life. The same is true with the leadership side, where maybe you're having a lot of conflict with some employees or you're having some clients that you're just not quite sure how to communicate with, and you need some leadership support. You need, for me, when I owned the studio, I had 2 or 3 leadership coaches because I just needed somebody to be like, how do I do this? The goal is not to create this cookie cutter leader. It's understanding that you as a leader have a very unique voice. You just need practice using it and those whole self skills to regulate your system to know that you're okay to use that voice.
Another benefit of coaching is that you are going to get a different perspective and you might be able to take the emotion out of it. A lot of times when we're that connected or close to the situation, it gets a little cloudy, and sometimes it's just nice to bounce some ideas off of someone else.
In our leadership program, we have the 200, we have a 300, and we're moving toward also creating a women's health yoga therapy program. Again, all of those things are on our website. They're coming soon. They're not ready for you quite yet. And then doorway number 3. This is what you're probably the most excited about.
Yes, this taps into some of my skill set.
Yes.
Door number 3 is business. So what we're looking to do is help other solo entrepreneurs be able to execute and work through some of the ideas and projects that you may have. Some of our Skill set include doing some brand identity work. We also are really great with brand messaging. So essentially creating the foundation of your brand, and then how do you execute it out into the world? This is all building blocks. So if you think about it from your whole self, if you're able to authentically speak about yourself and understand who you are, what you want to provide to the world, you can then roll out the business in a different manner. So it's almost tipping the pyramid on its head, if you would say. So instead of me searching for what the community needs, having them drive what I want to provide, it's flipping it around. Who am I, and how can I authentically provide a service or product that serves who I am with my authentic self?
Yeah, that's perfectly said. What I see a lot of times in coaching is create your avatar. Who are you serving? What do they need? Feel that need. And what happens is, for me as a woman, and my personality is a giver and a contributor, and I want to solve your problems, I start changing my voice, my desire, and I start signing up. Oh, I could do that, and I could do that, and I could do that. And then you don't even know who you are, and you're wondering why you're burned out and exhausted. And so what Steph is saying is, when we work with clients, the very first thing we talk about is your whole self. What are your commitments to yourself? What is the lifestyle you want to have? What brings you the greatest amount of joy? What's your personal mission statement? Who are you as a person? So that then you get to work with, I think you downplayed this a little bit. We get to work with our branding side of things. And Steph and Allie, a graphic designer, have a really in-depth background of branding. If you look at our website, it is fucking awesome. Like, those girls have just done so well. So what you're doing is, you're not just creating this thing, putting it into the world and then be like, oh, if I could fix this or make this, or if I'm pretty enough, then they'll like me. Instead, it's like, this is me. If you look at Soma, it is us, like, to a T. The words were intentional. The way our website is designed, what it looks like, the colors, the text, the tone, it is meant to help you. And I think one of the most important and helpful things that I did when I was a yoga studio is I worked with a copywriter to help me find my voice. This is what I love. This is what I do, but I don't know how to be concise about it. And then she worked with me, and we got very clear on the voice. And then I was able to use that voice to create the website, to create my social media. And so what we have done is taken it just a little bit further, and we've combined the visual brand and the voice brand.
So what we offer is a pathway for you to come into our world. What I'm proud of with Soma Moon is that we've come up with a process and a team that is able to execute brand identity as well as the messaging. And what you'll get from this is understanding of where you want to be in the world. And it's almost like grounding you down. So when you are able to speak out to the world about yourself, it feels that is an extension of you. There's other times where you might see your website and you're like, it's okay. No, we don't want that. We want to achieve that you feel when you look at it and you're proud to hand out that business card, and you're proud to talk authentically about it to your clients or your prospects. If you go through the full identity package, you'll get a document that provides you with your mission, your vision, and your core values. We've took many hours to go through and button up our core values, but the beauty of it, all that hard work pays off, because if you feel that you're not grounded when you're working through something or with a client or maybe an employee, you go back to those core values, and that's your foundation. And that can make it much easier to communicate what you need.
I think it's really easy to hear, oh, mission, core values, and think you're doing like a SWOT analysis. That's not what we're talking about here. Steph is giving you an example that we have had some hard clients before, where something in the energy of the interaction doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm getting pulled and I don't know what it is. And for me, it's made me doubt my skill and my purpose and what I'm doing. When that feeling happens, we go back to that document and we pull up our commitments. Steph and I wrote, I commit to this with one another. I commit to this in partnership. These are the values that we believe, and they are detailed. There's probably about 10 of them, and they are very intentional. And they came out of the awareness that we built in the whole self, and the awareness that we built through practicing leadership skills. And then we took them into our business. And when that feeling arises, when you feel like you're getting pulled into different things, we go back to the core values and be like, oh, this is why I feel this, because it is against my core value. It does not make sense to me. And so then it becomes very easy to be like, no, I don't want to do that. And you're like, okay, that's not a problem at all.
It helps you stay true to yourself. Yeah. Hands down.
Our business side of things is as much business coaching and brand identity as anything else. The other thing that we do is Steph is an incredibly skilled taskmaster and project manager and keeps me straight all the time. And what that means is that she's really good at looking at all of the projects that you have, because let's be real, as an entrepreneur, there's 1,800 things that we need to be doing. And if we get on social media, we can immediately think that we're not doing enough, or we get into the echo chamber of I'm burning out. And we are really, really protective of our time. Our business is a part of who we are. It is not all of who we are. And if those tasks start to get scattered and we don't really know which one's the most important one, she's constantly being like, no, this is the task that I need you to do. I know that's the fun one, but you got to do this one first and then you can go to that one. Sometimes you just need support. Where am I going? One of the things that we love to do is a whiteboard session where we get in and you have a problem, whether it's, I don't know how to create this workshop, or I'm struggling increasing my revenue, or I don't know which one of these two opportunities I need to go forward with. Sometimes you just need other people in the room to talk to. We love a good whiteboard session where we will put all of the information on the board. And what I love to do is look at the higher overarching picture of what is going on. And then when we do this with you, we are listening to the words that you say and we're watching your energy. It's very easy to tell when somebody's doing something that they feel like they should do versus something they do what they love. But oftentimes we're afraid to do the things that we love. And so we just kind of do the things that we should do. What did you say the other day? It's like burst of happiness. I feel good about that, but you're really frustrated because that's not what you want to do.
Well, that's well said. These are all different ideas that we can help you with your business. If you want to reach out and talk through what your needs are with us, we'd be more than happy to.
Our business section, if you go to our website, you'll see there's a lot of requests for discovery calls because everybody has a unique vision, has a unique voice, and has unique giftings. And so we want to make sure that that revolving door is really wide, because you might have a brand identity project and you're like, man, I want the whole shebang and I got $20,000 and I want you to create all of this and this is going to be amazing. Or you might be like me when I first started my yoga studio and I was like, I got $2,000 and I need help. Or maybe I just need a single coaching session. So please hear these numbers and not panic. We have the ability to work with you regardless of what your budget is. We can have coaching calls where we can come in and be a pseudo business partner with you to help give you some support and help ground you in your vision. Or we can do the whole brand identity process. We can also come in and figure out what your voice and brand needs, and Steph will create an amazing SOP and give you all the details so that you can go and do it yourself. Don't let money or budget or even the fear of not totally knowing what you need keep you from participating in this. Reach out to us, check out our website. We have a lot, and that's why it's taken us a year to identify what we actually do. Steph and I are very, very different. And we have two other women you'll meet soon that participate in this. And we had so many things we wanted to offer that it just took us a while to figure out how to do it and to recognize that you're different too, and you have different needs. So whatever need you have in the moment, we hope that Soma Moon becomes a place where you can have better conversations, you can ask scary questions, you can practice using your voice, you can develop your leadership, and you can build a business where you're contributing your gifts into the world in a way that feels authentic and unique specifically to you. So thank you for being here. We have loved talking to you. We are waiting for you. We are anticipating you. You're invited to the table, to the conversation. You are wanted and you belong here. So be well, be loved, be blessed. Namaste, my friend.
Namaste.